Welcome everybody to Wager Talk Today. This is my last show for a week. Teddy's happy. I know you guys are sad, but we have loaded this show up. We've got Marco D'Angelo talking baseball, Washington at Detroit, White Sox at Seattle. Carmine Bianco going to come on. He's going to take a look at the Euro 2024 championship. It starts tomorrow. He's got an opening game bet for us on Germany against Scotland and a futures bet. Kyle Anthony with some UFC. And yes, we're going 4 guests deep today. Dave Sharapan at the end of the show. Teddy covers big game breakdown. But let's get into it, brother. Marco D, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, guys, and we do got to get into it because this is an early starting game today, as we have often on Thursdays, looking at baseball tonight, or this afternoon and tonight.
Well, let's go. Washington playing Detroit. Tell us how to bet this game.
Well, my buddy's on the mound, Pat Corbin, so there's only one way for me to bet this game. Not a big fan of Pat Corbin as a pitcher, but I'm a big fan of Pat Corbin is betting against him, is this has been profitable all season long, and it's been the last couple of years. He's made 13 starts this year, and Washington, although they're playing better baseball this year, they're not when he's on the mound. They're just 4-9 when Corbin takes the mound. And why? Well, in his 13 starts, he's got an ERA of 6.15 and a whip of 1.66. As we said, today's game is an afternoon game, which makes matters worse for Corbin, is in 5 daytime starts this year, his ERA is just over 7. Not going to get the job done, and his problem all year has been control in the long ball. His strikeout to walk ratio, a very poor 44-27. And in those 13 starts this year, how about 12 gopher balls from Corbin? Last 4 starts, I want to point something out because usually Teddy asks me why first 5 versus full game. In his last 4 starts, the opposing team has scored 9, 7, 9, and 10 runs. And obviously he hasn't given up all those runs, but generally what happens is when he exits the game, they're losing. And you don't get the best relievers coming in behind him, and then the game continues to get worse. So I am going to go ahead and take the Tigers today, full game wager. And here's a key stat for you with Detroit when they've lost, trying to revenge back-to-back games against the same team, which they are today. They are 16-8 in that situation. I will go ahead and take the Tigers today and lay the price with them over Washington and Corbin.
So you talked about the issues that Corbin's had. What about the issue that Casey Mize has had? I mean, we look at the Tigers, they're 2-5 in his last 7 trips to the hill. He had a good April, but he hasn't been good since. The Tigers have been consistently losing for him. And Washington playing some of their best ball of the year right now. We're worried at all that Mize is just as prone to being lit up as Corbin is in early start action today.
Well, you are correct in the Mize comparison there on recent. But if I look at his 6 home starts this year, this is a guy that's got a little bit of a home road dichotomy. He's 3.58 ERA in 6 home starts, which is, double as good as Pat Corbin. So I'm okay with Mize. And again, that double revenge situation with Detroit evens it out for me. I've got no problem taking Detroit today.
Marco D'Angelo still rolling, my brother, up $2,100 for $100 bettors in your last 16 days. 11,500 since January 7th. Congratulations. Every time you come on here, you just continue to win. You've got a 4% play up tonight. What else is going on?
Yeah, you'll get the 4% and anything else that I have on my card today. It's all grouped in one package for you. And don't forget, we've got some specials at WagerTalk as well. You can pick up 7 days of action. If you want to buy today, it's $29. You can pick up 7 days for $77. That's the way to go, not only for myself, but for any of the WagerTalk cappers. Pick your favorite capper and grab that 7-day for $77 special.
Let's get into the White Sox at Seattle. Total of 6.5 here, Marco. You're going to stick to the general rule of take the lowest totals under?
Well, it's not a case of taking the lowest total under. It's a case of taking this one with the 6.5. And I know this is going to sound silly, but I think there's value in the 6.5 here. We know that, it's never fun betting unders. Human nature, the gambler's mentality is if you bet an over, you're never out of the game. They can keep scoring. But if you take an under, once they hit that number, you're done. You can't take runs or points off the board. But if you look at this one, and we talk about finding value when we make a wager, the 6.5, maybe in reality, this should be 5.8. But when the lines makers set a line, there's a floor and there's a ceiling. They can only go so low and they can only go so high. And the reason for that is if they go beyond a certain number, they know they're going to get one-sided action, and no bookmaker wants that. The goal was always to try to get equal betting so that you don't get that landslide one way. And in this particular game, you look at these two pitchers. Obviously, when you got a total of 6.5, you got two sharp pitchers. And we look at the White Sox pitcher, and he has just been absolutely dynamic. Crochet here in his starts this year has been almost unhittable for the White Sox. Now, we know the White Sox are having a bad year. They generally don't score a lot of runs, but when he's gone to the mound, he has had 8 straight starts where he's allowed 2 runs or less. And actually 6 of those 8 starts, it was 0 or 1 run. That's pretty impressive. And on the other side of the mound, you've got Castillo going for Seattle. 9 of his 11 starts, last 11 starts, I should say, he's allowed 2 runs or less. These two guys have been dead under pitchers. Crochet, 10-3 to the under. Castillo, 9-3 to the under this season. I'm going to go ahead and take this one on the under 6.5. And guys, here's a stat for you on Seattle. After 2 or more consecutive wins, this is a team that gets on rolls and so forth, and they generally do it with pitching. They have gone 19-2 to the under if they have won 2 or more consecutive games this season. Now you say, okay, that's all of their games. A lot of them are probably 8.5. You're correct. But the average runs scored in those 21 games, how about 5.7 runs per game over that 21 game sample size? Give me under 6.5 tonight with the White Sox and Seattle.
So both of these pitchers are trending under. Both teams, Marco, are trending over. I've got the the White Sox 8-2 to the over, 8-2 to the over with a couple of pushes in their last 12. I've got the White Sox cashing overs in 4 of their last 5 with 1 push. So 4-1-1 their last 6. So we have 2 teams that are both trending over right now. Both lineups in better current form than what we've seen compared to season averages. And I don't know if these are the 2 most reliable bullpens in baseball right now. Does any of that concern you here? Would you look at a first 5 as a full game only? And are you worried at all about the trend, the current prevailing trends for both teams cashing overs in recent ball games?
There's no question, the team trend there is the over, Teddy. But for me, whenever I'm looking at its stats and I'm going to look at something that involves hitting and pitching, I got hot pitchers. That's going to give me that's the side I'm going to lean to. And I feel both of these guys are in great form. And it is a good question about the first 5 versus the full game. But because the number is there, I think there's actually stretching it out more value in the 6.5 with this one for the full game. Because again, like I said, really the true number might be, 5.5 to 5.8, but obviously you can't put that number up, and I'm getting the 6.5. And, it is a Thursday. It is a getaway game. Sometimes you see some people missing from the lineup on teams whenever it is a Thursday game and they're moving on to a new city the next day. So give me the under, and I'm going full game on this one.
Marco D'Angelo. Marco, congrats on your run, guys. He's got a 4% bet up tonight. Check it out over at WagerTalk. Take advantage of our special, $77 for a 7-day all-access pass. Best way to buy, best way to play with us. Just basically save $20 on that, $22 on our regular 7-day all-access. Teddy covers, so I texted you last night. Dallas -1.5 first half bet. Idiot missed a free throw, and I missed by half a point. Didn't take that well at all. And your response was appropriate, that you're on the over in the game, and we'll go 0-2 together. I was really hoping we would go 2-0 together. Really shitty loss for me, but we move on. A shout out to Adam Trigger. He won his 5% play yesterday. Also, Ralph won his 5% play on Tuesday, the $2 Tuesday 5% play. I have a 5% up tonight in NHL. Check that out. But the most important thing we got to discuss today is what's going on over at Sports Memo. Jimmy, we've got an 18-0 run, an 18-0 run currently happening over at Sports Memo. Ricky Tran, 18-0. I don't think I've seen an 18-0. I would say that's the record on WagerTalk and Sports Memo. I know Marco has 21-0 or 25-0, something like that. But that was a million. That's when he had hair. That's how long ago that was. It's $2 Thursday over at Sports Memo, so you can get Ricky's play for only $2, and he is on an 18-0 run. Ricky, I don't know if you're listening to this show, but congratulations, man. I mean, I've never done it. In my entire life, I have never won 18 straight games, so congratulations. Teddy covers, what did bettors learn?
Well, clearly, Lawrence, you're due for an 18-0 run.
No, dude, come on.
Yeah, take the under. So we talked about closing line value, and look, you can get all the trophy. You get the closing line value in the NBA Finals. There have been 4 significant line moves. We've seen over money, games 1, game 2, and game 3. We saw significant Mavs money, game 3. If you had the best of the number, you got the closing line value for all of those bets, you're 0-4. It doesn't matter what the betting number was. The betting markets have been wrong for the NBA Finals. Mavs, -1.5 first quarter last night. Dallas was up 13 early. What? They're up 3 with possession, and the clock's running down, and Luka takes a bad 3 too early. They pass to Tatum at the other end. He slams it home. Mavs 31-30 at the quarter mark. Money line bettors good. Laying any points? Not so good. And then Prez just talked about it. The Mavs first half. Again, you get the best of the number, -1.5. Bet up to -2, -2.5, -3. It bounced all around the number last 2 minutes. It ends up tied. PJ Washington get 2 free throws. The best of the number guys have -1.5. And PJ misses the first, hits the second, 51-50. Money line bettors good. Laying any points? Not so good. And then, of course, the Celtics go on that huge run to close out the third. Jaylen Brown with the emphatic slam. And I was talking to my son. I'm like, this series is over right now. And then the Celtics did their best to blow a 22-point lead. Go on the huge Mavs run. They thought it was over. Dallas didn't. It didn't matter. Luka fouls out. That's ball game. Money line bettors, no good. And that was worse than laying the points. -150 versus -110. There's risk that comes with the favorite on the money line reward. The first half, it mattered. For the first quarter, it mattered to have money line versus full game. For full game, it hurt you more than it helped you. Something better should learn and remember. Risk that comes with the reward. Boston's going to win the title Friday, Monday, Thursday. Hell, even if it takes 7. Dallas ain't coming back. Too hungry, too focused Celtics. Focused enough to win game 4 and close them out. This is the only 48-hour turnaround of the entire series right here. So at least we won't have to wait 3 more days. to find out. That's what I learned last night. Lawrence, back to you, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Teddy, even with my incredible NBA playoffs, and it has been incredible, 18-6 run right now, up 43 units on the whole playoff. I'm ready for it to end. I'm good with a sweep. Let's move on. But what really annoyed me most of all wasn't the missed free throw that cost me and my clients the win. It was the fact that the guy just didn't pass it to the Dallas Mavericks standing under the net by himself, pitching a tent, watching TV, ready to dunk the ball without anybody anywhere near him. It was just a shit show of errors towards the end of that first half. Carmine Bianco joining us. Carm did puck time today, guys. I know a lot of you want to hear about our hockey thoughts. Puck time is up. Carm and Andrew take apart tonight's game. So if you want to check that out, you can find it at WagerTalk TV. Carm, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, guys. Thanks for having me on, and looking forward to it. 3 huge tournaments about to kick off. The Euros tomorrow, and then next Friday, it is the Copa America that's taking place in the U.S. for the very first time. And then right after that is the Leagues Cup with all the Mexican club teams and all the MLS club teams. So three big tournaments. It's going to be a busy time for me, and I'm heading to Vegas to watch some of the Euro games, Prez. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
But before that, you're heading to Whatabaygle at Bathurst and Rutherford to have lunch with this guy. Carmine Bianco,
Yes, I am.
Euro 2020. What do you want to complain? You want to pull a Teddy?
No, I'm
Okay.
perfectly fine, man. I'm listen, Lawrence, I'm hyped. I was in Vegas for the Euros 2021 when Italy beat England in penalty kicks at Wembley Stadium. I don't see Italy winning, but if you guys want to watch a video where I preview the whole tournament with Kelly Stewart, it is up on WagerTalk TV as well too. You'll find that there. A lot of bracket contests, and I break down the whole bracket from the group stages all the way down to the finals and who I think is going to win. So watch that video to find that one out. But let's talk about the first game, Prez.
Yeah, Germany versus Scotland. Germany, I don't think they've lost a game coming into Euro 2024. Teddy, you know how I know that? Carmine called me earlier this morning. So if I'm wrong, it's totally his fault. Scotland, I know nothing about, but I can be rest assured they're going to put all 11 people back and hope Germany never scores a goal. How are you handicapping this game?
I think I don't think it's that's what they're going to do, but the fan base for Scotland have come out in full force in Germany. The Tartan Army, they were at a pub the other day and in 4 hours drained the pub dry of beer, where they had no beer left and were serving other alcoholic drinks. So the Tartan Army in full, they're saying something like 100,000 people are traveling throughout the Euros to watch Scotland play. But Lawrence, listen, Germany's the host nation in this one. And this is a team that over the years, since winning the World Cup in 2014, they've been bounced out of back-to-back World Cups the next couple of years in the group stages, got rid of their managers. They now have Julian Nagelsmann, who I love this guy. He was the Bayern Munich coach, and they fired him for winning 71% of his games. 71% of the games, and they canned him. He became the German coach, and he's got this team playing. There was an Amazon Prime special on this German team and how they are now playing under this new manager. They absolutely love him. They didn't love the guy Hansi Flick that they had before us, and they're playing well. 2024, they have played France, and these Hansi Flick,
best name ever. Sorry,
I don't know why you say that, but anyways, So it's been friendlies leading up to this, but so you always take them with a grain of salt. But if you do a deeper dive and you look at who the other teams are starting, looking at if it's their best 11 out there, then you get a you can get a better read on how those games went. They played France, where France started all their regular starting 11, the team that made it to the World Cup final in 2022. They beat France 2-0 in France, in Lyon. Then they play the Netherlands, who start their full starting 11. Same thing. They beat Netherlands 2-1. They beat Greece 2-1, always a team that's tough to score on. And then they drew with Ukraine, 0-0. Now you think, okay, Ukraine's a team that they should beat. Ukraine plays one of the worst setups formations that you can play, 5-3-1-1. It's basically 8 guys behind the ball, and they're so hard to score on because they're so hard to get through. Scotland's not like that. Scotland's coming to score goals. They're coming to play. They're coming to try and win, and that's not a very good recipe for this for them against Germany. Germany's, like I said, they've got a very good team on home soil. Not much was expected of them until this change, this managerial change, and they're playing so much better. Musiala, Florian Wirtz, 2 exciting attacking players for this German team, and they're going to go far in this tournament. To the finals, no, but I think they'll make it at least to the semifinals of this one, kind of like the 2006 World Cup, where not much was expected of them. They made a run to the semifinals before losing to Italy, who went on to win the World Cup against France in penalty kicks. Reoccurring theme. I'm going to lay the goal and a half here because the line is Germany minus 330. That is way too much vig. I never lay that. I'll lay the goal and a half here because Germany is not only coming to win, they're coming to entertain their fans and put a stamp on the fact that they are now back as a footballing nation to be feared. We'll see in the Euros. This is a very competitive Euros, 24 teams, and there's at least 12 to 14 teams that can win this tournament.
So Euro 2024 prediction from Carmine Bianco says, look at Germany minus a goal and a half against Scotland in the opening game on Friday. Let's take a look ahead to the Copa America tournament for next week. This one starts June 20th, next Thursday. You've got a prop bet. Who's going to be the top scorer in the Copa America?
Yeah, I got Dan, our producer, on this one early. I've bet it, and this is one I like because the price is still there. Top goal scorer in the tournament. This is a little different in the sense of this is only a 16-team tournament. There's no round of 16, so they'll go 3 group stage games, and then they'll go right into the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. And the favorites, the 3 top choices right now are Lionel Messi of Argentina, plus 330, at plus 550, Julian Alvarez, also of Argentina. And then you have Vinicius Jr., the Real Madrid striker, and of course, Brazilian national team member at plus 380. He's the second choice, but you can go a little further, and this is the one I like. Darwin Nunez, plus 600 from Uruguay. And this guy is scoring goals, and he's scoring them in friendlies. He's scoring them in World Cup qualifying against teams like Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, teams that he's going to have to face. Easy group for them in the sense of they have Bolivia and Panama. And Bolivia is probably going to be the team that finishes bottom of the group and are going to get scored on over and over again. I think he's going to have a big group stage where he gets 5 or 6, and even if they don't make it to the finals, because they'll have to play in the second round, they'll win the group, but in the second round, they'll have to play the second place finisher in the Brazil group, which is likely going to be Colombia. And he scored against them in World Cup qualifying as well, too. Get through them, and then they play Brazil in the semifinals, and that's probably where their run ends. But at that point, he's probably got enough goals to cash that ticket, and he's plus 600. So I'm taking a flyer on him. I think Argentina shares their goals. There's 2 or 3 guys on that team. Obviously, Martinez, Alvarez, Lionel Messi, who's the PK taker for the team. It's one of those ones where you've got a lot of players who share goals, and you sort of lock in on one player on a team who's their main threat and goal scorer and takes their penalty kicks, and that's Darwin Nunez.
Carmine Bianco, outstanding, brother. Guys, make sure to watch his Euro 2024 preview show with Kelly as well. If you want to know how to bet tonight's hockey game, he's got him and Andrew did do a puck time today. What else do you have to promote?
That is about it. Nothing, no plays on the card for me, including NHL tonight. I'm leaning the under in that game. Whether I get to the window or not, we'll have to see. But the tournament package is up. You can get all 3 tournaments that are going on this summer. There's a bunch of plays already loaded, including a 5% play for next week. And it's $129. So you get every single play, prop, side, future released starting from tomorrow's game all the way through to about the middle of August when the 3rd tournament ends. So plenty of soccer, something to tie you over, especially with the All-Star break coming up as well too, guys. There's an NHL and NBA tailing off, and those pretty much done. Those finals pretty much done. There's going to be a lot of soccer, and it's going to be on TV. So you can watch, follow along, and hopefully make some money.
There we go. Carmine Bianco. The show keeps moving. Guys, not a lot of likes today. I don't understand why. George, Daryl Turner, B Daddy, Lord, Alvarez, DT. Why aren't you guys hitting the like button? Eric D, Waj. I love having you all taking the time out of your day to join us. Thank you for that. Please take a second and hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel. 1,000 subscribers away from 160K. Let's try get that done before I board my airplane tomorrow. Teddy Covers, what's your big game breakdown?
Big game breakdown. Let's talk some MLB for tonight. That would be the Red Sox and the Phillies. Right now, looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, 8.5 the prevailing total. Basically a pick 'em on the side. Phillies short chalk. Let's call them minus 110 plus 100 in this one for the Phillies. And this has all the makings of a pitcher's duel. And it's really interesting. All right. Fenway Park, when you look at the park factor sites, you say, oh, Fenway's the second best hitting park in baseball this year. Coors is number 1. Fenway's number 2. And yet, 15-6 to the under the last 21 at home. With all the park factors saying bet overs at Fenway, you've been betting overs at Fenway, you've been getting crushed. Again, 15-6 to the under in this ballpark. Yesterday's game went over. Today, we have a pair of aces on the hill. Tanner Houck's been amazing. I mean, he's been really good. His quote, I'm going to go 6, 7, or 8 innings. That's where you separate yourself as a pitcher. You want the other team to think it's going to be a long day. That's how I look at it. He's been really dominant of late. Now, he has faced a litany of weak hitting foes in recent starts. But, Philadelphia, without Realmuto in the lineup, without Trey Turner in the lineup, they're not clicking on all cylinders. They scored 29 runs in their last 7 ball games, 4 per contest. The bats finally showing signs of cooling off. And they've got an ace on the hill tonight in Aaron Nola, who's been dominant. Coming off another stellar showing, 7 shutout, 2-hit innings last time out there. 11-2 in his starts this season because he's been really good. You can go first 5 here if you want to take the bullpens out of the equation. You can go full game if you want to leave the bullpens in the equation. I have no argument with either, and I wouldn't argue with anyone with who wants to split the wager between the two. But we're looking for unders at Fenway Park today, first half and full game. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy Kyle Anthony joining us. Time to talk some UFC. Kyle, welcome to the show, brother.
Happy to be here, man. Ready to talk some UFC. And, it's always a good day when we're talking UFC.
Okay, great. Thanks for mentioning that twice. I'm going to keep the shenanigans down today. We have Dave Sharpman still joining us after you. You got 2 bets for us. The first one is on the Tierra Perez fight. You like Perez as a big dog here. Plus 165. Tell us why.
Yeah, so we've got Tatsuro Taira here. He's minus 190 on the comeback here. We've got Alex Perez plus 160. Now, you've got Taira. He is undefeated prospect, 24 years old, has looked great. And the thing here is there is no secret what Taira is going to look to do. He's going to look for the takedowns any way he possibly can, latch onto something, get a takedown, get you there, utilize his high-level jiu-jitsu seamlessly with his transitions are really incredible, as well as just his finishing ability is really high, where he's 15-0, 11 finishes, 7 submissions, 4 knockouts. This guy's definitely a finisher. But really the big question in this fight is really going to be, can Taira really get Perez down? And that's going to be really the big question here. You've got Taira, who has an okay takedown rate of about 41%. So, okay, not the greatest overall, but he's done it to lower level guys and guys that I don't really think, are going to have the ability to really stay standing against Taira. Now, you've got Alex Perez here, and he's got an 82% takedown defense rate, very high. But I think the biggest reason is because of his wrestling. He's got solid wrestling offensively and defensively, and I think he can stay out of danger here. I think also the fact that he's going to have a big physicality advantage over Taira as well, and I think that Alex is going to be able to utilize that very well, and mixing that in with that physicality, I think he's going to struggle. And this could play a lot on the feet, and that's really where I think Alex Perez finds a lot of success. He's got better boxing, quicker hand speed. I think that even you look at his footwork, I think that's better as well, and you add in even the leg kicks. This is going to be something that you're going to see, beginning combinations with, ending combinations with. He's very good snapping that out there. Now, that can be a little problematic if he, doesn't time those well, and you've got Taira timing some of these takedowns. That can be possible. But lastly, you've got to look at even just, this is a big step up in competition for Taira. Rightfully so. He's 24 years old. They got to bring him up slowly. But I do think that his biggest win probability here for Taira is the submission. I think that he's not going to be the better minute winner here. I don't think he's going to be piecing up Perez at distance. And Perez has only been submitted 2 times out of 11 fights, and they were both from former champions in Pantoja and Figueiredo. I do think that this is a spot where he can stay safe, sprawl and brawl, and really outland him over this fight here. So I do like the plus money here on Alex Perez at plus 160.
Alex Perez as a live dog in the main event on Saturday night here in Las Vegas. Let's talk about one on the undercard. Miles Johns, Douglas Silva de Andrade. Looks like all the money's come for Johns. This line was basically that Andre picked him minus 110, even minus 115 at the open. Now I'm seeing Johns minus 130, minus 140. Total in this one, 2.5 juice to the over. How do you play it? Johns versus Silva de Andrade.
So this one here, I think, is definitely an interesting fight. And when you're looking at it, really, you've got Miles Johns, who's a guy who's really primarily a wrestler. And he's kind of fell in love a little bit with his striking. A couple fights back, he ended up knocking out 2 guys in Anderson Dos Santos and Kevin Natividad. Not the highest level guys, but he's been able to go out there and he got some knockouts. And he hasn't been offensively wrestling. And that's something that definitely is an issue when you're looking at it. And some people, hey, yeah, maybe he's falling in love with his hands. But I really do believe, going back, rewatching, the biggest issue here is going to be his cardio. He does not have the ability to really fuel repetitive takedowns over 15 minutes. You've seen it consistently. There's even times where the volume isn't even that high, and this guy's already ticking down. Just, optically looks like he's already exhausted. And that's something that I think is going to be a big issue here. You even add in the fact that not only may he not be able to fuel some of these takedowns, but also the fact he hasn't been that successful in it either. He's got 22% takedown success rate, not that high. And now you've got someone like Silva de Andrade, who is a powerhouse kind of guy. He has really strong striking, good takedown defense overall. He definitely positionally does a lot of great things. And he's also backed by really good jiu-jitsu. So even if this does get to the ground, I think his jiu-jitsu should be okay. And the biggest issue, even for Johns, is even if he gets these takedowns, he's got terrible top control. He does not keep control when he's there. Guys are able to kind of squirm out, find opportunities to create the space. And I think that's going to be an issue. And then you look, standing wise, this is going to be a situation where I think that Douglas is going to have the better striking, the more powerful kicks, the better combinations, faster hands. And I think that that's really going to struggle with Johns, who can start to tick down in cardio, with output, with all of those things. And also the aggressiveness. Andrade is going to move forward. He's going to throw heavy. And Johns, who's a guy that may want to, again, look for these takedowns. If he's on his back foot, backpedaling, I think he can be the better minute winner. I think he can land the better shots. And he's going to have a 2.5-inch reach advantage as well. I think that does help him. And then also you got to look at it is that, Miles Johns has not improved. I think he's the same guy that we have seen over and over. Yes, he's pulling out some wins, but even these wins I think have been very suspect, haven't looked that great. He's eking some of these out here. And I just think that this is a spot where you're going to find Andrade at this plus money as good value here. So I do like Douglas Da Silva Andrade at this plus 110 number.
5 minutes in and out. Kyle Anthony, that's a regular occurrence for you. What do you got to promote?
So this weekend we have a 4% best play up. Right now we're looking at out of the last 17 weeks, we've cashed 14 of them. And so basically this year we've only had about 3 losing weekends this year. So we're definitely trucking along here, over 50 units of profit for the year, nearly 25% return on investment. So we're feeling good and ready to rock and roll this weekend.
Wonderful stuff. Kyle, really, before you go, and Dave Sharp, and if you're in the background, check this out. So, Kyle, I know you've been lacking on the woman front on the Jersey Shore. I have found a wingman for you. Tokyo Brandon, he would like to be your wingman. What do you think, dude? You think with Tokyo's new look, he'll help you score more?
I mean, that's going to be something we don't want those glasses indoors. So it's going to have to be an outdoor beach kind of environment if that's the kind of thing he's rocking. But, I'll take him along. Let's get, especially he's bringing winners. I mean, he's always bringing winners, so he can come along anytime.
There you go. Kyle Anthony, brother. Thanks for joining us, man. We'll see you next Thursday. Dave Sharapan. You loan Tokyo those glasses, Dave?
I got my own right here. All right. No, Tokyo Brandon can't pull them out. All right. I got my own glasses right now. All right.
So before we get into your segment, Dave, and I'm thrilled you're on with us today. So, Teddy, we both woke up this morning to a text from Dave. Hey, guys, I miss you. Can I come on the show today?
Yeah.
So, sure, man. You're Dave Sharapan. You can always come on, dude. We'll always find space for you. But I honestly thought you were coming on because of Tokyo Brandon's new look. And I thought you were going to come on with a fedora and the glasses and the necklace.
Yeah.
Kind of a bit let down, bro.
Listen, I didn't know. All you had to do was text me. Hey, look at Tokyo Brandon's new look. I would have come exactly like that because I have the glasses and I have the fedora. But listen, he looks great. I can't believe you started that drama with Kyle. Yeah. I mean, in and out in 5 minutes. You said you're used to that, in and out in 5 minutes. 5 minutes
that's like an achievement for a lot of guys.
That's a full round in the UFC. Yeah. 5 minutes is a full round. A lot can happen in 5 rounds, Prez. All right? And as far as wingmen, I'm one of the best of all time. If he needs help, I can come out of retirement. I am not going to partake in it. I'm one of the best wingmen of all time. So I don't want any drama.
Can you explain why? Like, what makes you such a great wingman? Is it that you're 4'1"?
No, it's actually that I'm actually taller than that. I'm over, if you want to bet the height. I listen. That's why. Ooh. And I'm never, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk. I learned that at a very young age. Wingmen, listen. They let the guy talk. You don't say a damn thing. And even more important, you listen to them. Yep. Listen, it worked for a long time. I got 3 kids. I'm good. All women in this house. I don't need any more of that. I'm off the market. But I'm a damn good wingman. Yeah.
That's a shame, Dave. I was really hoping you were still on the market.
No, not doing it.
Who's winning the hockey game tonight? Sorry, Teddy. Go
First
ahead,
of all,
Teddy.
Theodore, you look great. You got new glasses since I seen you last. I love the look. Looks awesome. The hockey's been really interesting, boys. I hope you have been enjoying it as much as I have. The unders in the Stanley Cup final have been fantastic. I mean, just play the under and go. I said it on my other show on Bostonian versus the Book and on Sports Grid at the beginning of the series. It reminded me of Boston and Vancouver in 2011 when I said, and I was in the book and I told everybody, and I was betting it myself, we shaded the lines this way. Every game in the series is going under. If not, 6 out of 7. So if we get 7 games, 6 unders. I thought the same exact thing with this because Edmonton switched when they got to the Western Conference Finals against Dallas. They couldn't play the way they played against Vancouver. The overs had to stop responsibly defensively. And that's the way Florida plays. So unders have been good. But tonight, Prez, I didn't come on. I came on especially because of the hockey today. But I couldn't wait to hear, hopefully you had some 5% play or some max thing, something like this. And I was just hoping that I was on the same side as it. Because I think Edmonton's going to win tonight. I think Edmonton is going to find a way to win tonight. Now, does that mean they're going to win the series? No. I still like Florida to win the series. But Edmonton tonight.
So let me ask you this, because it feels like there was a lot of support for Edmonton in the last game after they lost game 1. We're clearly seeing support for Edmonton again tonight after they lost the first 2 games. And I don't know anything about hockey betting. The one thing that I know is don't step in front of the goalie that's standing on his head. And isn't Bobrovsky standing on his head right now? And this is a guy, unders make sense. Side for Edmonton, they can't get anything past him.
Literally, you change glasses, but you got the same smart, big game breakdown, the same good way to look at things. Teddy, you're absolutely right. You never get in front of a goaltender in hockey betting. And Bobrovsky's the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. He's going to win the Conn Smythe. And a week ago, before the series started, they were making arguments against him. He was 6-1, 7-1 in places. Against the Rangers, he was double digits. And they beat the Rangers. He got a little bit of buzz. Florida's a total team. And I've been in Edmonton the last time they were in the Stanley Cup. I went to game 3 against Carolina. It's a long time ago. Kids, Google it. There's going to be a lot of things to overcome. They had bad travel. They got some injuries. And Edmonton sent a message at the end of game 2 that I really liked, that we're going to be here all night. You guys get your passports, check in, make sure we don't want any drama. You're going to come up here, whatever year you played before, it doesn't matter. All of Prez's words that I can think of, I'm thinking of right now. It's going to be a long night tonight. Physical series, but I think we're going to see some different type of play, at least early with power plays and things like that.
We've got some time today with Dave Sherapin, veteran odds maker, both here in Las Vegas and in the global community. He was a bookmaker for the better part of 20 years, and now we're pleased to be able to pick his brain when he can join us. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter at SportsBKConsig, the Sportsbook Consigliere on Twitter. Let's talk a little NBA when it comes to game 4 of the finals, when it comes to the series price. Celtics took care of business in the second half last night, took a 3-0 series lead. The series is all but over right now. You can still get the Dallas at, 20-1 in that range if you want them to win 4 in a row. But the interesting thing is game 4, where everyone knows the series is over now, and yet we're seeing the Mavs taking the early money. Talk about that in a series that has seen Boston cover every point spread, if you got the best of the number, and the under cash in all 3 previous games.
Oh, this has been a fun series for the books. I mean, guys are seriously planning their entire summer vacations based on what's happened in these 3 games. People have been betting Dallas are getting just led right to the slaughterhouse, Teddy. It's not been good for most people. They bet over and they bet Dallas. So far, we've had under, Boston, push, Boston. And yesterday, Boston was the dog. I got this nice Celtics shirt. Got sleeves and patches and all this Celtics gear. I mean, they're gonna win the championship. It's never happened before where a team has come back when down 0-3 and win 4 in a row. Does that mean they're gonna win on tomorrow and clinch the series? Bettors love to be right. They will be wrong 3 times in a row to be right this last time. You can't jump ship. If you bet Dallas game 1, game 2, or game 3, you got to come on them on game 4. So rhombuses, parallelograms, they're all on them. And the odds makers made the adjustment with the total. That's the interesting part. It's really low. It might actually get to a point where you could bet it pregame over. But pregame under, in-game over has been a masterful lesson in betting. The games, I don't know if anybody's watching it. I keep hearing it's one of the lowest rated, NBA finals ever. I'm enjoying it from a distance, and, I finally resigned myself to the fact that I'm doing Bostonian versus the book. We got to get a championship with this guy yapping about it all the time. It's been a lot of fun. And I bet the Celtics to win it all when they were after they beat Cleveland. I said they're going to go to the NBA Finals. They're definitely going to beat Indiana. So I have some personal interest in it. If the Celtics win, them in the exacta over Dallas turned out to be okay. So we'll do all right, but it could have been better had the Denver Nuggets been the opponent. So
Dave Sherpan, nice to have you with us, man. We've missed you. You will find your way back into a regularly scheduled spot.
Yeah.
It is the summer right now, so all good. Is there any other bet you want to quickly mention?
Absolutely. My buddy, you guys know him as Daniel's son, newbie, has turned me on to this lacrosse stuff. I'm wearing the Philadelphia Water Dogs hat. They're playing this weekend against Boston. The hell with Boston. I had enough Boston, okay? Philadelphia is going to beat Boston in the first game they're playing. They're playing a doubleheader this weekend. Their favorites, almost pick them in the first game. Second game, bigger favorites. Philly this weekend. Today in baseball, it's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me, Prez. The Pirates are good when Keller pitches and when Skeens pitches. Check the lineup today. Keller's pitching. Pick him. Pirates, that one for you. Yankees run line. They're destroying Kansas City all week. White Sox plus a run and a half has been good. Under in that game. It's only 6.5. 2 really good pitchers, though. And then I heard you talking about the big game breakdown again with that Philly-Boston game. It made perfect sense, Theodore. 100% agreement. Hope to see you in Las Vegas, Prez. I won't say where or when. I'll just be waiting for the text.
Dave, I will 100% text you if I am out of a tournament with a night that we can go out for dinner or something.
Wait!
It's not my priority. My priority is playing poker this time around. But lots of love, brother. Lots of love.
Great
Teddy.
to see you both.
Yeah, just real quick, Dave. The odds of Prez calling you, given that he's playing poker this tournament?
No's a big favorite.
No
is a gigantic. The Celtics are going to win. It's that price or more to win the series. No. So I put it out there for the people. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you. For Thursday was fun. I love Tuesdays. Thursday was fun. Prez, travel safe. Theodore, stay on the button. I'll let you know.
Dave, if you're good for every Thursday, I can put you in for every Thursday. Text me and let me know. Teddy, I'm off tomorrow. If you guys are in Vegas, DM me through Twitter. I'm playing the Monster Stack $1,500 event at the WSOP starting Saturday, and then the seniors event starting on Tuesday or Wednesday. My brother, it's been a pleasure. Steve Merrill will take over from me for the next 6 shows. Take us home.
Sure, that's going to wrap it for the Thursday edition. Merrill and I will do it tomorrow. Same time, same channel, right here on WagerTalk TV, 9 a.m. on the left coast, noon for you back east. Between now and tomorrow's show, you guys know what to do. Enjoy the games, and good luck with all your bets.